Alright guys, this one is often misunderstood by students. I have noticed most recently as I have picked up a bunch of students from other people's bands during our quarantine times. I'll ask a student, what's the key signature for this piece? And they'll tell me it's 3/4, which is not a key signature. That's a time signature. That's a whole nother animal. The key signature is very often overlooked by beginners and young students because in the beginning, a lot of the times there isn't a key signature. It's all done with accidentals. All the flats or sharps that you need. And then it's introduced in the band book, and then not really talked about after that, and then they use the same key signature for the first, 20 songs that use a key signature. And it's very often overlooked. So, in short, a key signature is just the collection of sharps or flats that you need for your song. A lot of the times we're in the key of B flat with two flats, and those two flats are B flat and E flat. One thing to note is every time there's two flats, it's always the same two, and so it becomes like a shorthand for telling you all the notes that we need. So the order of flats, when we have one flat, it's B flat. When we have two flats, it's the same one flat plus E flat. Then next we add A flat, and then we add D flat, and then we add G flat, and then we add C flat, and that makes 7 flats, and that's the most that we can have realistically. Certainly we could go into double flats if we really wanted to, but that's harder to read. So we're not going into that territory today. The order of the sharps, we have F sharp, and then C sharp, and then G sharp, and then D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and then B sharp. And then once we have B sharp, we have all 7. And then every note is sharp. So I have prepared a couple of examples to demonstrate what key signatures can do to the same piece of music or exercise. I call this the key signature trick. This is literally how I practice reading key signatures, which is I will take an exercise out of some sort of technique book or an etude that has a key signature and not many accidentals, and I will imagine a different key signature. Especially if it's already in the key of C where there isn't a key signature, it's easiest to do for that. That way you're not distracted by sharps or flats that already exist. So here's the first example. It's just a short little blurb, all in one key, and I play through it 7 times, and each time I'm adding one flat, and I have prepared a PDF of this where I don't use key signatures, but I actually use accidentals to show you what notes are affected by the key signature. And it goes in order. It goes the key of C or 0, no sharps and no flats. Then it goes 1 flat, then 2, then 3, down the page. You can follow along and you can play along and you can listen to it just to see what the key signature does, how many notes it affects in the exercise, etc. So here's that. I left the sharps unplayed so that you can go play them yourself. Work through it slowly. Try to do 1 or 2 or 3 of these key signatures in your first practicing of this. And then, add one after a few days of working on this, playing the same thing in different key signatures. This is not to be confused with transposition, which is a slightly different animal. You might call this transposition, but then we're also shifting what's called a mode, which is related to key signatures tangentially. Okay, so the next example I have is a song that everyone has heard before, and no one sings it with the right key signature anyway. So it's going to sound normal on the first playing, and then it is going to sound really weird. It's going to sound like maybe a student wasn't paying attention to the key signature, which happens a lot, and they make mistakes like this, although this is all on purpose. So the song is Happy Birthday, and like I said, the first one sounds normal, and then I play through all of the flats. I add a flat every single time. Have fun with this one. This is not about what it sounds like, unlike all the other music. This is about reading and sort of ignoring your ears. You have to read the notes on the page in order to get it right. And it's, like I said, it's going to sound weird. Just have fun with this. Here it is. Alright, I hope after listening to my ramblings and listening to my prepared examples, you have a better understanding of what a key signature is and what it does to affect the music. We have to take into account key signatures. I will probably do one more video in this vein, but probably playing something like out of an etude book or Rubank or whatever. Just to show, I don't know, how I practice, and maybe share the story of how I figured this out for myself. This is one of the things that no one taught me I'm weird, so I found a weird thing to do with music in order to make playing in different keys easier. Because playing in keys that are not C could be easy, because there shouldn't be a difference between a really sharp key and a not so sharp key. If you have any questions about this material, go ahead and put them in the comments. Otherwise, download it and play through it, and maybe apply it to some of the songs and some of the exercises that you're working on. It's a fun little trick. Don't spend too much time on it. Just in case you get used to reading in different key signatures, then you accidentally start playing your band music in different key signatures, and then your band director will be mad at me. I don't want that. Alright, have a nice day, guys.